down or leave you alone. Trust him all in all, 'cause he's the light. He'll lead your way through darkest of times. He'll never let you go. And he'll be there for you. And he'll be there for you. He'll never bring you down or leave you alone. Trust him all in all, 'cause he's the light. And he leads your way through darkest of times. He never lets you go. And he'll be there for you. 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 And he'll be Look at the heaven, your Savior is there. He's the Lamb of God, our Savior, Redeemer. He's alive. He took all your fears. He never let you go. Even in the seas that you drown, and nowhere you can run, I keep your eyes on the prize with a flawless mind. Even in the seas that you drown, and nowhere you can run, keep your eyes on the prize with a flawless
Yeva Suyan from Armenia. Now, the interesting thing about Yeva is that the lyrics to most of her songs, and she, with her sister, writes her own material, the lyrics are written by her sister in collaboration. In fact, we did a little program on how the two of them compose the music and put the lyrics to it. And her sister, who recognizes that Armenian is a very difficult language, very ancient, but it's very difficult, and so she calls herself Star Jackson. And Star is the most incredible young lady that you've ever met. She's full of talent, just bursting with it. And he does so many things. But the other day I just happened to tap in to, I don't know whether it was Facebook or YouTube, but there she was, live, rehearsing with the band who was going to back her sister. And just in a break, she picked up the microphone and some gospel singing herself. And boy, she was excellent. Now, she's a writer, a composer. She's very much a thinker. I met her because I was in Yerevan to try and help female MP candidates in one of their elections in a male-dominated society have a go at seeing whether they could actually get elected, and some of them did. Starr didn't, and it's a pity because her English is faultless, and she's got a very deep, lovely voice. But I met Starr on that occasion, and we've been wonderful friends since. I can't wait to get back to Yerevan and see her again. But anyway, she and her sister are just a double act not to be missed. And if you ever see, well, do look on YouTube, because Yeva's work is there. And much of it is written by her sister, Starr Jackson. So that's my little bit of experience from Yerevan. Actually, I've got quite a bit of experience from Yerevan, and I must say that it is a small city, but it's a lovely city, a very nice city. And one of the key industries there is the Ararat brandy distillery. Ararat brandy is famous throughout the world. Those who know their drinks will recognise the name immediately. But it was also Winston Churchill's favourite. And he noticed that the quality had dropped a little bit. And it was in the days of the Soviet Union, of course, going back a few years. But he immediately got on the phone to Stalin and said, look here, I've been drinking your brandy for God knows how long, and I love it, but it's not as good as it was. What the hell's going on? So Stalin made a few inquiries, and unfortunately the chemist, who was the chief mixer, if you like, who got the taste right, had been sent off to a gulag for some imagined offence in Siberia. So Stalin very quickly got him out of the gulag, got him back to the factory in Yerevan, and said, "There, go and make the brandy, the sort that my pal Winston enjoys, and be a good boy." And he was a good boy, and a few years later got the Order of the Hero of the Soviet Union. Churchill was happy, Stalin was happy, the brandy distillery was happy. Very nice deal all the way around. What influence to have. Well, we're creeping up to 6:38 in Lewis, and I hope that perhaps even if you listen to it later in the day at say 12:24, and perhaps these little bits of history that I'm able to pop in, and little anecdotes about various things help you just to get a wee bit of enjoyment when you do listen to this. I'd like to just mention that Rouser Radio is part of Mirador Media, which actually runs Mirador Television, and you can watch Mirador Television if you happen to have a smart TV, because it's on Roku. And if you don't have a smart TV, there are millions and millions and millions and millions of people. In fact, it's estimated that well into 100 million people in the United States, some of the countries, but and the United Kingdom, where it was introduced last December, have got a stick which you just plug into your television and you've got Roku. And Mirador Television is on Roku, and it's a lot of fun. It goes for 24 hours, 7 days a week, rolling content. In other words, you can tap in at different times and catch a program or two here and a program or two there. And if you don't want to do that, then it's also on miradortelevision.com, and there you've got video on demand, and you can take a little listen to video on demand and choose the programs that you want to watch. There's a wide variety, right from Alex and his dog Joey, who do gardening and take things forward, and down to Suzanne Mucho in New York, who is the head of an architectural university, department head of the University of Architecture, and she tells us a lot about architecture in New York. and her last program was about the fact that there is a pear tree. I got it wrong when I actually edited this. I thought it was a cherry tree. It was a pear tree, which actually was there when 9/11 happened, and it has managed to exist through everything, and is now flourishing, and is looked after by the Parks Department in New York to make sure that it is a sign of the spirit of resilience and recovery and hope for the future. So that's the sort of stories that Suzanne Mouchot brings to us. So a wide variety of stuff. Do tap in, miradortelevision.com. We look forward to seeing you. We do have a little go at the local council. Sometimes we have a go at Boris, and sometimes we have a go at the President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump. But we hope that it's all to try and help our society and reflect what people are thinking. One of the things that Boris has said, and I'm delighted to see it, is that he has asked for the apprenticeship program to be boosted so that youngsters, as we come out of lockdown and where the economy has taken such a hit, will get a good training from professionals. And we hope, we're going to investigate that, we hope that perhaps we can take on an apprentice and we can actually get a training program going, because we are trainers. We also do corporate training, and that, of course, has had to stop. We didn't do it online. We're now busy trying hard to bring it to online, but we do corporate training, particularly for young executives from West Africa, sometimes from places like Ukraine, from the Balkans, from the Gulf. And they, believe me, are very, very keen to learn all they can from us to make sure that at home they have very decent businesses that develop. And the other area is that a lot of them come from government, where the government is a bit shaky because even though perhaps it was 2000 or so when many countries in the old Eastern Europe, the old Soviet Union, became entities themselves, they are still learning about rule of law, about democracy, and about how to try to be as transparent as they possibly can. Yes, they do, and they try very hard. And they are young executives who go back and try to run things in their country in a way that we have found satisfactory here. At least we did. It's getting a bit ragged around the edges at the moment, but let's hope that it all comes back. Okay, well, we've only got 2 minutes to go. Yes, 2 minutes to go. So what we'll do is we'll say goodbye for this morning. Thank you for being with us for this half hour. I rather suspect there aren't too many of you, but what we do find is that because this goes out on all sorts of landing sites, I think they call them, at various sorts around the country, that we are being picked up more and more and more. So hopefully we won't be talking to ourselves for too much longer, and that somebody out there will join us, and we look forward to having you. So here we go. I think we'll play out again with our good friend Ben Sound Buddy.